When they come, and they will, and we have hope in the life of these people. And this is the point. There's no throne. There is no version of this where you come out on top.
Let me infiltrate the beat, concentrate the heat. If you ain't on my level, okay, let me be. All we going till it's all emotion, talking killer rappers, then I hit the corner. And my train of thought is more locomotive, talking reason for it. I got locomotive. Used to be on the revenge to understand on my excellent Brampton. I was Spider-Man with me black suit. I was powerful with no sauce. Blurring the line between human and artist. Trying to change what I swear it's the hardest. I swear when you're up, they turn you to a target. What was a trip? I like it when I'm talking. So, what it takes to be an icon? All in your desktop, so I just might already be one. My name with the label that comes on the table one time, but I'm down for a free lunch. Just speaking my heat-seeking message of hits, but other than me, I see no heat to it. So gassed up, I'm about to come cream, come cream, come cream. Hope smash if she know me, no me, no me. Right into life, I'm staying late. If life's about to be a cold war, I'm the hero that they asked for. I'm about to go, I'm about to go. I'm about to go, I'm about to go. I'm about to go, I'm about to go. I'm about to go. I might be making a future a rap. Cause when I hit to read, I turn shit like crack. Dropping bombs like I'm cursing you out. This house that I'm kicking you out. Quiet as a mouse came in the game, not a word is happening. I've been hiding the blame. Shit is wrong, don't you know it? I've been growing, steady growing till they know the name. Saw it ahead of time, knew that I get to my losing myself in the purest and in the pain. I swear I'm all about peace. I'm a positive person. Wasn't always like that. You know what I used to try to nasty. I push a positive light. I'm a keep my composure through internal fights with the person of my pretty dark nights. What a Bruce Wayne, what a trick me. There's some truth that I let free. Who's better? I'm rapping if you ask me. Am I willing to win and attack me? The secret is I'm always ready. Trying to keep your gas up. I'm about to go cream, go cream, go cream. Hope smash if she know me, no me, no me. Right into life, I'm staying late. If life's about to be a cold war, I'm the hero that they asked for. I'm about to go, I'm about to go. I'm about to go, I'm about to go. I'm about to go, I'm about to go. I'm about to go. Better love these, better love. Baby, family, better love. I'm hoping that it comes, but it never does. I just wanna be the man that ever was. You know, music is awesome. Just like your pills, and they all love. So I love that beat with the pom-pom. They don't like my style, no. I don't really give a damn. I keep steering, switch gears in the band, just keep cheering. No interceptions, no interference. I'm on the 18, no cheering. I'm headed for the stage now, they clearing all the bathroom and in the building, man. It's bathroom and in the building. Let's get it started tonight. This one's on me, let's go downtown and die. One shot, two shots, I don't really know I'm counting right. Oh, we take it down, so we can live it up. Why? Cause you never know what's tomorrow is in this crazy life. Hey, slide, 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 slide. And I'm thankful when they say I'm crazy. Slide, 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 slide. Ain't nobody shaking me down. You killing it and anybody talking shit. I ain't really innocent. I just wanna be the one to let you know the sentiment. I'm kissing with your girl and I get lost in it and I like it. You set the bar on my butt. You back it down, I never does it. What's up?
ready? Come here, Prince. Sit. Sit over there. Can you sit right here? Say hi. Hello. Go ahead. Okay. Thank you. Say hello. Hi. He's here. There's Prince, everyone. Thanks for coming. Not going to waste a lot of time. I'm actually going to get right into the book, and then we'll get into the free gift. Oh, thank you, Miss Joanne. So are you. Thanks for coming. Trying to see what's the best. Prince, we're supposed to be looking this way. Prince, what are you doing? You're supposed to be facing this way. Okay, sit right. I know, it's confusing. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm doing this. Okay, let me see. What the best. I want to make sure y'all can see Prince. Oh, I'll be right back. Let's cut something off. Give me a second. Prince, are you keeping them entertained? Okay, we're going to do a recap of the book. The name of the book is Turned Out. We're actually on chapter 4. We're like in the middle of chapter 4. But we're going to do a recap of chapter 1 through 4, what we read last week. Let's see. I forgot. Let's check. Can y'all hear me fine? All right, we want everyone to be relaxed, and it's a little chill time, little grown folks chill time. The goal is hopefully to get enough subscribers so I can start my online um, auctioning. That's the goal. So hopefully we'll start the online auctioning soon. But I do have a free gift for our new subscriber for tonight. Let's see. I don't know why I'm feeling nervous. Brent, you good over there? Alright, you good? I'm good. Oh, I know why. First things first, let's say a prayer. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you. First, we want you to ask you to forgive us of our sins. And then we want to thank you for waking us up this morning. We thank you for taking care of our family and friends. We thank you for blessing our family and friends and blessing us to be here, Lord. We thank you for blessing this channel with the future that we can't even see, the bright future of this channel, Lord. We ask you to touch this channel and bless more people to come so we can start up our auctioning and get the ball rolling. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, starting the reading from chapter 1. The name of chapter 1 was Shining Star, Earth, Wind, and Fire. And this book is about a girl named Champagne and a guy named Zaire. They're in a relationship that has began to gotten a little boring in the bedroom. And so both of them were feeling a little bored in the bedroom, and they decided to go to dinner and talk about it. And they kind of rekindled things a little bit. And which is Champagne's boyfriend, he owns some restaurants that he inherited from his parents. They passed away, so he's kind of wealthy. And far as Champagne, she's been to school. She's graduated from school, and I can't remember what her occupation was. I think she was a journalist. But anyways, these two were dating and just reminiscing on how they met. Talking about things they're going to do to try to rekindle the relationship and things that's actually going on in their personal lives. Far as Champagne at her job, she's going to end up leaving her job because her boss has been trying to sleep with her and he's been sexually harassing her. So since she won't sleep with her boss, he's going to give her a assistant, sort of like a partner. And he knows she doesn't want a partner, but he's going to give her a partner just because she won't sleep with him. And it's kind of where we are far as chapter 1 through 3. Let's see. We're going to start at the beginning of chapter 4. But yeah, Champagne's old boss, he has really been trying to manipulate her. He's really nasty too. He has a nasty mouth. She has a friend that she's been talking to her problems about. Her friend name is Alexis. And her boyfriend, Zaire, he has a friend also. Let's see. Prince. Come here, baby. Sit down. Stay right there. Let me get your medicine. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, let's see. Get Prince's girlfriend for him. That's his little girlfriend. Y'all see his girlfriend? He loves his girlfriend. Miss Joanne, are you still there? We'll get right into this reading in a second. Took another small intermission really quick.
One of the wrong things that I couldn't have. One of the things that I shouldn't have. But I never know regrets because I wouldn't be here.
Come here, Prince. Stay right there.
I've worked so hard.
No moving, Teddy. Stay right there. You good.
Bitches in a heartbeat if there was a chance that I could ever have my own girl. My first love, man, I can't believe I lost her. You the miscellaneous bitches all on my roster. So my advice to all my homies out there, with a woman that really cares, don't fuck around, it might cost you. Yeah, but like I said, man, it's no regrets. We move forward, stay positive, and hope for the best. I'm obsessed, I want it all, dog, and nothing less. I'd rather be a dead man than to live with no success. So I spit it from deep in my chest. All of these inner feelings used to just keep them suppressed. Then I wondered why the fuck I would be so depressed. And I realized that I really just need to confess. So when you hear me on the record, it's the real me. Real, I only do it for the people that can feel me. And if they want to hate, then go ahead and feel free. But I'm gonna continue to do this shit until it kills me. I've been lost, I've been found, I've been up, I've been down. I've been broken, I've been bruised, beaten and abused. But I bitch ass motherfucker, my mama would choose. So before you judge me, be sure that you walk in my shoes. I used to sleep out on the streets with a couple sheets. Feeling weak, I've gone weeks with nothing to eat. I'm fast forward, just a couple years more. Me and my team about to do a nationwide tour. In a second, I'm trying out. It's like I'm right everything I'm trying about. It gets tough, broke me, get a little rough. It's all good, homie, you just gotta ride it out. I used to work on these tracks down murdering. So my homies will never have to snatch your once again. Yeah, but I know it's truly worth it. I can tell my mama she don't ever have to work again. Only 20 years old when she made me. Just a baby, with a baby. Yeah, I know, girl, I drove y'all crazy.
This is the gift for tonight. Be here. Have no fear. Auction Queen is here.
That's what they shouting at.
Looks like I know who the winner's going to be already. So cute. Oh well, too bad you missed it. I will be giving this gift away tonight. Amen. Prince. You're not going to stay here tonight. I guess the thing that is there. Prince. Stay right there. Stay right there. Don't move. You go get your bed. Alright, let's get back to this reading. Chapter 4. Boys, Mary Jane Girls. Zaire was sitting in his office, a huge smile plastered on his face. He recalled the way Champagne surprised him by sucking his dick the night before. She did it like it was the best tasting dessert on this earth. He'd arrived home from work late that night because of a party for an upcoming male fashion designer that wasn't scheduled until after one in the morning. Zaire was tired, and the only thing was on his mind was climbing into bed. To his surprise, Champagne had other things in mind. "Hey, sweetie," she greeted him when he walked in, looking sexy as hell. She was relaxed in the sitting room in a short black negligee and a glass of wine in her hands. From an earlier conversation, he knew she'd had a rough day at work and was surprised to see her up. "Why aren't you in bed?" "I was waiting for you to come home." "That's sweet, but you didn't have to do that." "I know I didn't have to. I wanted to." Champagne stood up and gave him a kiss, took his hand, and pulled him towards the bedroom. "Now go and take your shower. I'll be here waiting with the surprise." Zaire questioned her with his eyes, but she wasn't giving anything away. "Wash up good, too," she told him. "Don't miss an inch." While in the shower, Zaire wondered what she had planned. She did say don't miss an inch. That meant the blowjob was in order, so he took extra care in cleaning his penis under his balls and his ass. One never knows. Zaire stepped out of the shower and into the bedroom. He dried himself off with the towel. On the nightstand next to the bed were some items. He took a closer look at them. Honey, dust, body powder, motion lotion, and some weird-looking vibrator. "What the hell is that?" he asked. "It's called a cyber flicker." "And what is it supposed to flick?" "I know you don't plan on going anywhere near me." "Come here, just relax and let me do my thing." "I don't know." "Trust me, I'm not going to do anything I'm sure you won't like." Zaire sat on the bed cautiously. Champagne straddled him and pushed him back. "Don't you want to talk about your day?" he asked, playfully. "No, I have something better in mind." Champagne kissed him on his eyelids, causing him to shut them, and then traced his lips with her mouth. She pushed him back on the bed. She moved her legs to rest between his and placed her hands on his penis, massaging it. Moving down his body with her tongue, she reached over for the motion lotion and ran her tongue over his shaft. Zaire had His eyes opened and watched her every move. She rubbed the lotion over his penis, and with each hand movement, it was up, heating up. Zaire moaned. That feels good. Well, this is going to feel even better. Champagne blew on his penis, causing the heated sensation, and then dripped her mouth around it in a circle and circled it with her tongue up to the head. Oh, girl, what are you doing? Zaire tried to sit up, but she pushed him back down. Instead of answering him, she proceeded to suck and lick every inch of him. Zaire had his eyes closed and was giving his I'm about to explode at any moment face when he heard this buzzing sound. What the hell? He opened his eyes just in time to catch Champagne holding that flicker thing between his balls and his ass. When she placed it there, his whole body tightened up. Come on, baby, relax. We said we wanted a change. When he realized that she wasn't trying to put anything in him, he just relaxed and enjoyed the feeling of the vibration, which ran up and down the length of his body. When she started licking his balls, he knew it would be over any minute. I'm going to come any minute now. Let me inside of you. Champagne wasn't hearing it. She was enjoying the moment. Ugh, Zaire yelled out. I'm about to come. Champagne replaced her mouth with her right hand, dropped the flicker, and massaged his balls with the left while he exploded. Afterwards, Zaire looked at her with love. That was the bomb. He didn't even question her about the new items. He just had the best orgasm in quite some time. If she'd only swallowed, that would have topped it off. Champagne went to wash her hands and get a rag to wipe Zaire down. When she returned, he was sound asleep, smiling and wishing she could pat herself on the back. Champagne was pleased with herself as well. So here, Zaire sat recalling last night and thinking to himself, I couldn't believe I let her put a damn vibrator anywhere near my ass. Shaking his head, he tried to clear his thoughts and concentrate on the work that lay before him. But before he could even do that, there was a knock at the door. Who is it? His employees knew not to bother him, especially when his door was closed. Every other Friday, he took care of the financial end of the business, paying bills, reviewing his cash flow, and paying his employees. And this was one of those days. He did this religiously. It enabled him to know on a consistent basis what he was bringing in and what he was putting out. No one could or would ever try to cheat him out of a penny. He knew where every cent went. His business allowed him the luxuries of his Cadillac, Jeep, and Mercedes coupe that sat in the garage of his estate. It also allowed him to purchase Champagne, the 3-carat engagement ring she wore on her finger. Heck, it allowed him to be rich beyond his dreams and become richer in the upcoming years. Even his parents would be pleased at the success of the restaurant. Yes, it was a little more lavish than he initially planned, but to make money, you had to spend money. And he expanded on their dreams, bringing it to fruition what they couldn't. The knock at the door. It's Thomas. Thomas stopped short. He almost slipped up and said the whole word. But the last thing he needed to hear was Zaire was chastising him, asking him why he had to be so hood, that there was a time and a place for everything, and that his place of business wasn't it. Thomas had heard the speech 1,000 times and could repeat it word for word. You can't come to my place of business acting like you're from the streets. My employees have to respect me, and the way I am with you and the way I am here with them is not the way I am with you. And on he'd go. Eventually, Thomas started to tune him out and would just nod his head as if he was listening. Hold up, Zaire got out of his chair and let Thomas in. What's up? Thomas greeted. They gave each other a pound. Nothing, just taking care of business as usual. Want to go out for lunch? Zaire gave Thomas a long, steady look. What? What you looking at me like that for? Today is the second Friday of the month. What do I do the second Friday of every month? My finances. You know this. and you still drop in and expect me to. Thomas stood up. How about this? I have free lunch. I have free lunch while I'm here, and we go out tonight instead. Go to a strip club and see some naked ass. Have a couple of drinks. I'll call up Trevor and Wise and see if they want to join us. Zaire really wasn't feeling it, but he knew he'd been neglecting his boys for the last month. He glanced at the calendar and recalled that it was Thomas's birthday. Not letting on that he had forgot, he said, "Cool, anything for the birthday, boy." Aw, nigga, I thought you forgot. You're my boy, I wouldn't forget your day. Yeah, okay. I saw you take a peek at the calendar. Thomas and Zaire met during their first year of college. Prince. Thomas and Zaire met their first year of college. They had attended Rutgers University in New Jersey together and hung out with the same crowd. One evening, they were standing in the hall. Thomas overheard Zaire talking about his sloppy ass roommate that was pledging a fraternity. I'm about to go upside his head. Thomas was going through the same thing with his roommate and was in the process of finding an apartment off campus. He needed a roommate if he wanted extra cash to spend on the ladies. He decided to approach Zaire. Yo, man, I'm about to get an apartment off campus. If we split the cost, we can get a two-bedroom, and it'll save me a few dollars. Yeah, but what will it save me? Zaire asked. I don't know what it'll save you, but you might just get a peace of mind. Zaire looked at him and tried to sum him up. He recalled seeing Thomas around campus talking to the finest ladies. He also knew that Thomas wasn't a slouch in the academics department. Also, although he dressed although he dressed like a thug and talked like he was from the streets, he ran track and stayed on the dean's list. He'd appreciated change because his roommate was a slouch, loud and irritating. Peace of mind was definitely something he could use. Yo, man, thanks. It sounds like a plan, but I need to see that place first. Zaire wasn't stupid. He knew that college students could only afford so much. He knew what he could afford, and he wasn't too sure if he wanted to give up safety for comfort. The apartment turned out to be in a decent area of the New Brunswick, close to downtown, near the public transportation. So he moved in. Thomas and Zaire got off to a smooth start. Both of them were neat freaks. Nothing was ever out of place. When they had women over, they were always impressed, especially when they learned that they kept the place up themselves. They also never had any major disagreements, especially when it came to women. Zaire liked them attractive and smart, while Thomas liked them ugly and dumb. His theory was ugly women treat you better because they want to hold on to you and would do just about anything to make that happen. Zaire didn't have a theory. He just wanted someone he could carry on a conversation with and be seen in public with. It wasn't long before they became the best of friends. They stayed up late night and talked about any and everything under the sun. They had each other's back. Where one might slack off in studies, the other picked up. They complemented one another, balanced each other out. They became like brothers. Zaire's parents would send Thomas necessities when they sent Zaire's, who never felt cheated because he knew Thomas grew up in foster home without a family. Thomas and Zaire still had each other's back. They drink together and even go so far as have sex in the same room. Well, that was before champagne came along. Occasionally, Zaire will recall with disdain an incident that took place their senior year. They had a party to celebrate their upcoming graduation. Drinks were flowing and weed was being passed back and forth like water. Everyone was having the time of their lives. As the clock ticked and hours passed, the crowd started to disperse until there was about 10 people left. And what was a party with people and what was a party with people dancing, laughing, and having a good time become an orgy. How it happened is still beyond Zaire's knowledge. And all he knew that 1 minute he was kissing this girl on the couch. And 2 minutes later he looked up to find a group of five having sex near the fireplace and two other couples off to the side doing their thing. Dicks were being sucked, people were fucking doggy style. There was no pussy eating. Back then that was something the brothers denied doing, so to actually be seen doing it was out of the question. Full of liquor and weed, Zaire decided to see just how far he could go with his female friend. It ended up being all the way. Later that night, after everyone left, Zaire lay semi-consciously out on his bed. He could barely move. His head was pounding. That night was his first night experimenting with weed, and he recalled hearing someone say that it was laced with something. Feeling a little out of it, he found himself falling asleep. He woke up with someone's lips wrapped around his penis. Not even bothering to open his eyes, he figured it was the girl he had been with earlier. He decided to go with the flow and take the pleasure ride. He started moving his hips and grinding into the person's mouth and went to reach for their head when he heard his door open. What the fuck? Thomas yelled out. Zaire opened his eyes and looked down to find Tyron, a classmate, a fellow party goer with his dick in his mouth. Shocked, embarrassed, and confused because it was feeling so good, Zaire's initial reaction was to jump up and push Tyron's head away. Then he kicked him in the chest, causing him to fall back. Zaire was about to beat his ass to a pulp, but Tyron got up to run out the room. Close the door, Zaire yelled out. Thomas did as he was told. Zaire looked at Thomas and tried to convince him. Yo, man, I'm not gay. I was in here passed out. I wake up, this motherfucker has my dick in his mouth. Zaire took a step towards Tyron. Tyron covered his face like the punk he was and immediately started apologizing. Zaire was up on him when Thomas said, wait, 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 and stood between them. Move out of my way, man, or you're going to get hurt too. Nah, man, I've got a better idea. Let's humiliate him instead. That's what we used to do in foster care. Fuck humiliation. He needs his ass kicked. Thomas started to unzip his pants and turned towards a frightened Tyron. You want to suck some dick? Here's a dick for you. Zaire was shocked. Yo, man, what the fuck are you doing? Let him finish his job on both of us. Zaire looked at Thomas like he had lost his mind. I ain't gay, man, and neither am I. He started it, let him finish. Zaire, not being sure what to do and caught between confusion and anger, decided to just follow Thomas's lead, and together they forced Tyron to do them both. They knew he wouldn't say anything for the fear that what it would do to his reputation. This incident stayed their secret. They never told a soul about it and discussed it only once, and that was the following day. Yo, man, what made you come into my room? Zaire asked. Well, when you were doing Sarah, I saw Tyron watching, and it looked like he was watching you harder than her. When you went to your room, he said he was going to the bathroom. Something just didn't feel right. He was taking a long ass time to come back, so I thought I'd check on you. Shit, you better be glad I did, because ain't no telling how far he would have tried to go. How come you just didn't let me beat his ass? That would have been too easy. I don't know, Thomas. I don't feel right about what we did. I'm not gay, and the shit feels wrong. Man, please. Just because you let another man suck your dick don't make you gay. When I was in foster care, it was either that or get beat down. Which route would you have taken? Don't even worry about it. It's between us. We don't even have to talk about it anymore. To Zaire, just because it wasn't talked about didn't mean it didn't happen. It was something he thought about occasionally but never discussed ever again with anyone. He decided that the incident was something that he would take to his grave. Later that evening, Zaire and Champagne sat on the couch discussing Champagne's business plan. Suddenly, Zaire glanced at his watch. Oh shit! What's up? Champagne asked. I forgot I told Thomas and the boys I'd hang out with them today. Today's Thomas's birthday. Champagne didn't know whether to believe him or not. It's funny how insecurity can creep up on you at any given moment. Ever since they had their we need a chance in our relationship talk, she'd been second guessing herself. Then out of the clear blue sky, Zaire informed her that he was hanging out that night, which didn't make it any better. She knew that he was anal about his schedule. Where y'all going? She asked. I'm not sure, but I'll call you when I'm out. That made her feel a little better, but he couldn't be doing too much if he telephoned her. What time do you think you'll be back? Zaire stood up. Why the third degree? What? I can't ask any questions? Not in the mood for an argument. Zaire chose not to answer. Instead, he just leaned over and kissed her on the forehead. I'll call you while I'm out. Chapter 5 Friends Houdini. Small break.
We gon' fill it up like it's a wallet. We gon' live it up like it's college. We gon' soak it up like it's knowledge. Yeah. And I gotta pay homage to my fam and the fans from the hometown. Got the hill going up, but we back now. Put the loud one out on the back now, but I'm gone. And I hope that this going and it ain't as well. Probably I just don't understand. Got a long way. Because I don't know that. I don't think you wanna get my case. I'm like, yeah, she's still in the bottom of my face. So, to eliminate the problem, I pop a bottle, they outside out. They have a lifestyle. How could I know what it's like? How could I know what a life? Know a lot of artists who don't like to bring it to light. And I'm included in that, I ain't saying it's right. But it's been pushed out, the news don't look like change right soon. Donald Trump is all that they talk about, I'm tired of it too. They only talk about racism when the city's burning up. When the cops are getting shot, and when the shooters getting cut. Peaceful protests rarely get a mention. Y'all defended, this could be prevented. Y'all sensationalize the violence just to get it checking. What's the message? Only getting hurt when you try to run. You wonder why these people getting hurt. You ain't learned your lesson. Interview yourselves. God damn it, that might answer questions. What the hell you reckon? What's projected? Monkey box rules, y'all won't ever get it. So I gotta step in. White man from the 307, telling y'all I'm fed up with it. I hope that this morning it ain't as well. Probably I just don't understand. Got a long way. Because I got a real bad temper. It's the middle of September. I don't think you wanna catch my case. Yeah, if you do so much, just touch me, then it's not like it. I see what police do in the bottom of my face. So, to eliminate the problem, I pop a bottle, they outside out. They have a lifestyle. What's wrong? So never relate to that. I get pulled over, they take my ID and hit the gas. All these divisions, race, religion, economic class. How are we free till realities can overlap? I know what it's like to live on dollars on dollars. And I know what it's like to see that money get smaller. And I know what it's like to live with and without God. But I'll never know life is systematical odds. Fucked how the system has played with all of our minds. Wish that we could see each other through a child's eyes. No prejudice and still manipulation of the real. One world under one sun over one race that is human. We fight amongst ourselves like, what the hell are we doing? Shit is so outlandish while we fucking up the planet. Fighting over someone's color while our planet's in the bed. A miracle on the sun being, yeah, y'all know what I said. When I hope that this morning it ain't as well. Probably I just don't understand. Got a long way. Because I got a real bad temper. It's the middle of September. I disappointed in the haters want from me. I just told them stay about them my way. Because I got a real bad temper, it's the middle of September. I don't think you wanna catch my case. Man, if you do so much stuff, then it's about to get ugly. What police don't end up all in my face. So, they can down, I'm about they outside now. They have a nice day. Fancy jumps in the shower, parties on last $7. Me and my friends on a mission to leave with your rent to your pizza and we make love. Yeah, I'm not really giving to a charity, so every girl I take for the charity, so every that shit, all I needed was a pay for your ass, so instead of being married, so many figures into bitch, I ain't even know it. Boyfriends ain't me, and I ain't even notice it. And the tiger of me out, I ain't never broke them. Tell them what I said, you upset and smoke them. Clearly brown, so you ain't jail. Tell all the lame niggas how they go. Don't be dumb, so I'm dumb. Couldn't even tell you what I thought it felt. Trying to ride a rag, not to steal them. Bottles and bars, I think I'm being killed. Trying to talk to these bitches is hard, cause I know I can ride from being in the hill. Girls didn't want to come, would stay. Take us to a snack, but I was all gonna play. So we fucking hard, and I wasn't trying to party, but I'm fucking okay. Turn up. Last night was cinematic. I'm a living addict. It's been established. You pull my shirt, and in the back of the up shirt, it's just in a jacket. Split the cabbage. I'm living lavish. You're living average. This isn't human. I'm in a savage. Roll every swisher that's in the package. Yeah, just show you less. Pass that trash. I'm running fast. These hoes get kicked out. That's sudden death. So long, motherfucker, cut out a lot of their ass. Now I'm done, so I'm spinning. Take another shot, should have win. What's my guns on the hit? Until then, I'm gonna make it. My mind is so long, rolling up. I'm trying to get in my zone. Fuck going out, and I'm on the home. I'm like, rolling up, I'm like, no, I'm rolling up. So high, so high, so high. So low, I sat up, like I'm living high. So high, so high, so high, so high. Everything that I'm talking about, you touch the Lord, and I stay in the sky.
made it out the hood, 7 years old. Gunshots and sirens. Read because my first beats were gunshots and sirens. Told me no snitching and you would go missing. Niggas drawing blood, calling violence artistic. I remember teachers saying everything was art. Same teacher down talking of graffiti in the park. Ebonics that I speak, I swear when I talk, she confused by the way we fuse Webster and Pac. Cause I didn't really study a lot, but I quoted every lyric to the albums I copped. That I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting pussy. 6 years old, I ain't know about the pussy, but I was on the playground telling niggas to push me. And a snake mouth kept me in and out the principal's office. Mama walking in pissed, I was scared as hell. Told me if I spoke truth, she'd provide the bail. But if I lied and she found out, she'd take me to jail. Kinda harsh, but it's real, and I thank you for that. Yeah, the obstacles to her for playing mommy and dad. Little man running how she called me Poppy in fact. Cause I stepped up, stood out, and got me some rest. Mama gave up a dream, she took one for the team. Now I'm in the game, ballin', trying to get on ring. Waiting on tomorrow, waiting for someone to follow, waiting on tomorrow to come, so I keep waiting for tomorrow. Time gets hard tomorrow, waiting for tomorrow to come. Yeah, I'm trying to get some things like a house in its front yard, the best unfold. Swear to God, my life story is the best untold. Lyrically, the rhymes I'm spitting will sell like gold. While I'm painting ass niggas with a flex at home. I was in the studio trying to perfect my flow. If we talking about Johnny, I'm the best at throne. I'm not the next best song. I've been the best since bone. I was best at birth, be best to the hearse. But the old head diss me because I'm young and I curse. They don't understand that this generation is hurt. Girls listening to songs that can't determine their worth. Boys listening the same, so they set up for work. Leaving only two options, either jail or get murdered. Yeah, it's either jail or get murdered. Leaving only two options, either jail or get murdered. So I'm waiting on tomorrow, waiting for someone to follow, waiting on tomorrow to come. So I keep waiting for tomorrow. Time gets hard tomorrow, waiting for tomorrow to come. I'm waiting on tomorrow, waiting for someone to follow, waiting on tomorrow to come. So I keep waiting for tomorrow. Time gets hard tomorrow, waiting for tomorrow to come.
just wanna blow up in the limelight. Thinking about what my life would be like. Go to LA, I'm back on one night. Trying to catch a flight, I'm just working for that jet life. I just wanna blow up in the limelight. Thinking about what my life would be like. Go to LA, I'm back on one night. Trying to catch a flight, I'm just working for that jet life. You can have the money and the fame. Have a couple planes in your name. I'm popping the champagne. We can buy a big house and a couple of whips and cash a couple of your chips for a closet of kiss. I'd have every Jordan ever made. So every day I can have a different pair. I wanted to be the same. I would have my bed 10 times bigger than me.
Stay right there.
I would buy my tower that's bigger than these. I would buy a golf course and a court for all sports. Host the final four while I'm eating four course. Romping outdoors, playing ball up in the porch. And of course it ain't a race when you own every horse. I have a guest house full of guys with me. Up in Shot City where we sit in y'all pretty. I'm just trying to catch a flight and make it in time. You can say I got a fly state of mind. I just wanna blow up in the limelight. Thinking about what my life would be like. Go to LA, I'm back on one night. Trying to catch a flight, I'm just working for that jet life. I just wanna blow up in the limelight. Thinking about what my life would be like. Go to LA, I'm back on
As it comes, beautiful people, I'm gonna have to figure out another way to change clothes where I don't have to take so long.
I wanna wake up to a butler with a joint roll for me and help me head upwards. While I clean my head, I wanna discover that
I had to get more free, y'all. Just was feeling too. I had to get those clothes off. Hey, Brown, are you still here? Thanks for coming.
I got people to do, a couple things to see. Kick it in a mansion, party with Charlie Sheen. I hit the studio with Kanye. Make a couple hits while we sipping Bombay. Make another trip to kick it with Dr. Dre. Then get hella jet lag from flying the whole day. I just wanna blow up in the limelight. Thinking about what my life would be like. Go to LA, I'm back on one night. Trying to catch a flight, I'm just working for that jet life. I just wanna blow up in the limelight. Thinking about what my life would be like. Go to LA, I'm back on one night. Trying to catch a flight, I'm just working for that jet life. I'm talking about that jet life. I'll be working for that jet life. Go to LA, I'm back on one night. Trying to catch a flight, for that jet life. The jet life. I just wanna blow up in the limelight. Thinking about what my life would be like. Go to LA, I'm back on one night. Trying to catch a flight, I'm just working for that jet life. I just wanna blow up in the limelight. Thinking about what my life would be like. Go to LA, I'm back on one night. Trying to catch a flight, I'm just working for that jet life. He's an excitable. I feel like everything has been falling apart. I put my heart and my soul in this shit, but I don't think that anyone notices it. I never sleep, I just don't have the time. I can't relax and I gotta go get it. My mind has been playing an integral part in the monster that I overcome. But where you from? Not where they come from, not where they carry you from. I'm from a place where these niggas from past and next. Making history why that shit never happened. Who don't not me, I will not be distracted. Excitable prison, they ain't created from life. It's inevitable. I'm in your captain, I'm in some years.
Oh, you know, they got me up. ASAP. I'm back, beautiful world. Prince and I are back. Ready to start chapter 5. The name of chapter 5 is Friends Houdini. Francis over there got his face buried. Okay. Okay, chapter 5. The name of chapter 5 is Friends Houdini. Uh-oh, there go my throat again. Zaire and his boys had taken to do something at least once a week. While in the mall shopping, Champagne admitted to Alexis that she was a little jealous. Shopping was something Champagne hated to do. She'd rather order out of a catalog or off the internet. Mall shopping just didn't do it for her. With many people everywhere, clothes picked all over, and salespeople in your face, can I help you? Can I help you? She knew it was their job, but sometimes she wanted to yell, go away. Girl, please, don't be jealous. A man needs his space, just like a woman does. I'm sure you don't want to be cooped up under some man all day, every day. You need to be you and let him be him. I know, but I've gotten spoiled. It's just been me and him for the past couple of months. Reality check. You've also been miserable. Plus, you're going to have him for the rest of your life. What's a couple of hours here and there? Champagne knew Alexis was right. She also knew that she was going through some emotional shit right now. She felt like she was on some sort of roller coaster. She was definitely leaving her job. She was going to start a new company, and to top all of that, Jackson expected her to train a new girl. She was feeling a little sensitive and a lot overwhelmed. Camille, her new partner, came in making demands, acting like she was Whitney or some diva. Champagne knew that Camille and Jackson were fucking. The way that they were rolling out the red carpet for her, the way he was rolling out the red carpet for her, there couldn't have been any other reason. He was even paying her a higher salary than normal. And as if and if that wasn't enough, they hold on, start over. He was even paying her a higher salary than normal, as if that wasn't enough. They really broke that. What really broke Camille's back is when he tried to hand over one of Champagne's better clients, who politely told him that the only person he was interested in working with was Champagne. Thank God she had already talked to some of her clients and informed them that she was leaving. Most of them said that they would like to continue having her service them, no matter where she was employed. She informed them that she would have to look over their contracts first. She didn't want to get in any trouble legally by stealing clients under contract. If she discovered she couldn't be held liable for them leaving, so be it. You know, tomorrow is the day I'm officially handing in my resignation. Alexis didn't hear her because she was looking at a pair of shoes. Champagne knew not to repeat herself because nothing came between Alexis and her shoes. What do you think of these? Alexis held up a pair of white 3-inch heels. I don't like white shoes, you know that. But humor me. Anyway, I'm resigning tomorrow, and I'm a little nervous about it. That's understandable. Alexis looked at the cashier and told her she'll take the shoes in a size 8. Champagne, honey, you're about to embark on a big project. Starting your own business isn't something small. You have the right to be nervous. I believe in you. Though you're smart, you're a go getter. It's all going to work out for you. Champagne heard what Alexis was saying. She knew she was right about her being a go getter and shit. Mostly everything in life she wanted to achieve, she had achieved. She and her brother Sir were raised by a single mom who had tried her damnedest to instill in them a sense of pride and self esteem. She told them over and over they could be whatever they wanted to be and do whatever they set their minds on doing. Champagne believed her. Sir didn't. Growing up, neither of them knew their fathers. Sir was 2 years older than Champagne and always seemed to have a hard time as a child and as a man. It was like he was cursed. He just couldn't seem to get it together. He did average in high school, flunked out of college, couldn't find a job, and turned to drugs. Champagne blamed it on the fact that there wasn't a male figure around, someone to guide him and be an example. Champagne and her mother tried to help him the best way they knew how, but no availability. Sir Sir committed suicide at the age of 22. It devastated Champagne. She went into a shell for over a year, not talking to anyone or doing anything. School was all that mattered to her. She was determined to graduate at the top of her class. Champagne became an overachiever, and sometimes she still found herself falling into the I'm the am I doing enough? Am I achieving enough trap? Every time you turned around, there was something else she wanted to do. First, she wanted to be a teacher, then a counselor, then in the arts. She went back to school to get her master's and was considering going back to get her doctorate. Why? Because she could. She often wondered, why settle when the world has so much to offer? What drove her were memories of her brother and his unhappiness, his insecurities, his failures, and most of all, his suicide. There was no way she would be so displeased with her life that she would take her own. So her response was to consume herself with work and Zaire. She knew it was unhealthy, but she didn't know what else to do about it. After her brother's death, she and her mother barely spoke. Whenever she tried to initiate a relationship, she was pushed away. Eventually, she gave up, but her plan was to correct that soon. You know what? You're right. I can do this. I am intelligent. I am talented. I've made some of my clients more popular than they've ever believed possible. Most of them want to come with me when I leave. So, what do I have to be concerned about? Alexis smiled. Now, that's what I like to hear. What's on your agenda this evening, Champagne? Hold on. What's on your agenda this evening? Champagne didn't have anything planned. Zaire was working late and she didn't feel like being by herself. I've got a hot date, girl. Get the hell out of here. When was the last time you've been on a date? Does he go to your church or something? No, he don't go to my church. And why you gotta rub it in the fact that I haven't been on a date in some time? Actually, I met him at the laundromat. The laundromat? What were you doing at the laundromat? You have a washer and dryer at home. Something is wrong with the dryer. Anyways, let me finish. I had just finished putting my clothes in the dryer and was about to walk out with this fine with a capital F brother strutted in. I was about to leave, but I hesitated. You hesitated? This surprised Champagne because Alexis never ever made the first move. She was a Christian and believed that women shouldn't go looking for men, that the men are the hunters. Yeah, girl, that's how fine he was. Not only that, but there was this magnetism about him that just drew me in. Champagne couldn't believe what she was hearing. She laughed. Magnetism, ignoring her, Alexis continued. So I turned around and decided to wait until my clothes dried and see if he would strike up a conversation. Did he? After a good 10 minutes of waiting and not even a hold on. After a good 10 minutes of waiting and not even a hello, I said to him, "Are you new around here? I've never seen you before." No, you didn't. Yes, I did, girl. It was a weak line, but it worked. He's new in town. Only been here for 3 weeks. His name is Khalil. He works construction. That surprised Champagne because Alexis usually didn't go for blue collar brothers. Construction? Yes, construction. Anyways, we talked a little more and he asked me if I'd like to go out for dinner one night. So I said yes. You say yes? I figured why not? I've been praying to God to send me somebody, right? Yeah, well, I'm not saying that he's it, but no, I need to be more open and stop carrying this list in my head of what the perfect man is. I know that's right, because your list was unrealistic. Champagne recalled Alexis and pulling her out a piece of paper with the qualities of a good man on it. It went something like this: Christian man, honest, hardworking, making 60 grand a year, over 6 feet tall, in good physical condition, great lover, no kids, must be at least 30. After reading the list, Champagne told her, "I've already got the man. Don't brag. What are you willing to compromise on?" Champagne asked. Well, there's one thing I'm not compromising on, and that's him being a Christian. Is he? Yes. I asked him what churches have he attended since he's been in town. He said that was the first thing he did was find some place to serve the Lord. Get out of here. I know, right? Champagne was glad for Alexis and told her, so make sure you call me no matter what time it is and let me know how things go. You know I will. They shopped a little while longer and then separated in the parking lot. Champagne hoped this Khalil guy was the one for Alexis. She was tired of seeing her best friend single and thought that she deserved a man. Some children and the white picket fence with a big yard and all the things little girls dream of having when they picture their lives as women. When Champagne was young, she dreamed of being rich beyond her means, jet setting from place to place, purchasing whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted. A man was never in the picture. Don't get it twisted. Champagne didn't think she'd be lonely for life, but her main concern was to make her life successful. She'd been in and out of relationships, mostly short term, dated occasionally, and had sex once in a while. Then she met Zaire, and her life plan changed. One evening, Champagne and Zaire were out to dinner. Their relationship was just getting off the ground, and they were both in denial of their feelings towards each other. Of course, neither wanted to be the first to admit that they were falling in love. They were both afraid of jumping into the relationship head first, due to the past romantic failures. They both tried to be nonchalant about what they had, not labeling it and just letting it be. Although neither could deny their feelings were growing stronger by the day. While at dinner, Zaire asked, "What does a man represent to you?" Thrown off, Champagne asked, "What kind of question is that?" Just a question. Zaire wanted to see where her head was. He was ready to make her the one. I don't know how to answer that. Answer it honestly. Shit, that was a question she'd never given any real thought to. She knew what a man was supposed to represent: security, peace, family, a sense of well being. But up to this point, she hadn't seen any evidence of that. To her, a man just represented companionship, a date, and sex. She didn't want to tell him that because thinking it made her feel a little unappreciative. No, it made her feel a little apprehensive. So saying it out loud surely wouldn't be any better. Companionship, she told him, leaving the rest out. He was satisfied with what companion to you? What's companion to you? Someone to talk to, someone to share your wishes, your dreams, and your securities with, someone to cuddle with and make love to. Zaire knew he could be those things. Returning to the present moment, Champagne glanced at her Gucci watch, an extravagant gift from Zaire, and saw that the time was ticking. Sometimes she felt like he spent way too much money on her. Not that she was complaining, but being spoiled was nice. Because being spoiled was nice, she just wasn't used to it. She made well over 70K a year and saved more than she spent, which was a good thing now that she thought about it, especially since it allowed her to start her own business. Instead of going home, Champagne decided to go to the office to copy the client's files she was interested in taking with her. She had been glancing through them all week, but not wanting to make it too obvious, decided to wait until the last possible moment to make copies. No one should be in the office other than the security guard, who she knew wouldn't say a word, because Jackson treated him with arrogance and disregard. When Champagne arrived at the office, she was surprised that Jimmy, the security guard, wasn't at his post. As she walked towards her office, she noticed that Jackson's door was slightly ajar and that the ray of light was shining through the crack. She could also hear soft music playing in the background. Knowing she was wrong for being nosy for what she was about to do, she moved closer to the door and peeked through the crack, only to see Camille dancing seductively in front of Jackson. The form-fitting skirt and jacket she wore to the office was on the floor, while she paraded in a red spaghetti-thin G-string panty, black thigh-highs, and a red lacy bra with her black breasts flowing on top. Champagne looked at Camille and noticed that she appeared much thicker in the near nude than fully dressed. It was a kind of thickness that would turn on any man or woman if you went that way. It was definitely turning on Jackson, whose attention was razor sharp, watching every hip thrust and every pelvic movement. When Camille's hand caressed her stomach and moved on to her breast, squeezing her nipples, his eyes followed. When her hands moved down between her legs, rubbing her pussy, his eyes followed. Champagne found her eyes following as well. When Camille turned around, Champagne noticed that her eyes were closed. She bent over in front of Jackson and he grabbed her ass and started massaging her buttocks. Champagne could feel her pussy walls opening and closing, and that could only mean one thing. The scene before her was turning her on. She didn't quite know how to react to this. On the one hand, she was disgusted with herself. On the other, she had to admit that curiosity was getting the better of her. Common sense, common sense finally took over, and she turned away and hurried towards her office. Sitting behind her desk, she tried to catch her breath. There was no way she was going to stay here and make copies after the episode she had just witnessed. Now the challenge was getting out unnoticed and unheard. Grabbing the file she wanted from inside her desk, she walked softly into the hallway, careful not to make a sound. She made it down the hallway, past Jackson's office, and out the front door. Everything in her wanted to turn around and take one last look, but the fear of being caught was enough to make her leave the premises. On the way home, Champagne stopped off at Kinko's to make the copy she needed. She knew Zaire wouldn't be home until late that night. There was a conference being held at his restaurant, and he liked to stay and make sure things ran smooth at a smooth pace. Pulling up into the driveway, Champagne had a brief flashback of Jackson and Camille. She shook the image out of her head, but not before recalling the fullness of Camille's breath. What the hell is wrong with me? She asked herself. Chapter 6. Caught in the Middle. Will Smith. Zaire was looking across the floor at a group of people gathered near the bar, and he couldn't help but notice that one of the men in the group looked real familiar. At least his profile did, because he hadn't yet turned around to give Zaire a full view of his face. Taking a step forward to get a closer look, Zaire turned quickly because at the exact moment, the brother turned around. It was the last person on earth Zaire wanted to see. Tyron the Dick Sucker. It was a college memory Zaire wanted to erase from his mind altogether. Tyron noticed Zaire the second he walked into the restaurant and was torn between leaving and staying. But leaving really wasn't an option, since he was one of the speakers. The conference was for financial advisors, and Tyron worked for one of the top black-owned companies in the United States. With the knowledge that he possessed, he was capable of making someone rich beyond their dreams. When Tyron first entered the restaurant and saw Zaire, he didn't know whether to approach him and apologize or knock the shit out of him. The college incident stayed in the back of his mind. He knew he was wrong for violating Zaire in his sleep, and the way that he felt that he deserved what Zaire and his boy Thomas did. But then again, he would have preferred the ass whipping Zaire was going to give him. Tyron couldn't help out. Tyron couldn't help but wonder if he and Thomas were still in touch. Damn, Zaire still looked good as hell. He was always a handsome man, even given the chance I'd turn his ass out. Tyron knew he was dead ass wrong for these thoughts. Instead of focusing on what Zaire needed to focus on was his speech. In the meantime, Zaire glanced at Tyron and wondered if he was gay. He had to be. The way he had sucked his dick like a pro. From his appearance, you couldn't tell because he looked all man. On this day and age, you could never tell a person's sexuality by their appearance. All you had to go on was their word. Turning around, Zaire decided it was time to leave. All of a sudden, he felt a headache coming on and was developing an upset stomach. Finding his hostess, Dane, Finding his hostess, Deneen, Zaire told her, "I'm leaving you in charge." "You are?" Deneen asked, surprised. Zaire normally stayed to the end when something was going on in the restaurant. "Yes, just make sure everything is cleaned and locked up." "I will. You don't have to worry about a thing." "All right, I'll see you tomorrow." On that note, Zaire walked out. Once in the car, Zaire pounded on the steering wheel. He yelled out loud, "Shit!" He put the incident so far in the back of his mind and to have it standing there staring into his face was mind blowing. Now was definitely a time for that vacation him and Champagne had discussed. Which is just what Champagne suggested. All time. Now was definitely the time for that vacation him and Champagne had discussed. Check out these sounds. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Burning up inside, keep me quiet. Feel like every
Prince. Prince. which is just what Champagne suggested the second Zaire walked in. She didn't let him get in the door. Good. Baby, let's take the vacation we talked about as soon as possible. Woo, woo, where did this come from? No, he said, whoa, whoa, where did this come from? I'm just ready to go. Tomorrow is my resignation day, and before I start my new venture, I'd like to spend some time with you, she said, following him into the living room. I hear you. Shit, I'm ready for that vacation just as much as you are. Where do you want to go? I thought we discussed Hinduism. This surprised Zaire. When he first suggested it, he didn't think she'd agree. For real? Yes, for real. Champagne was half amused hearing the excitement in his tone. She also knew that his imagination was running wild, and after witnessing Camille and Jackson, she knew she could devour. Hold on, I can't even read anymore. Let me start over. She also knew that his imagination was running wild, and after witnessing Jackson and Camille, she knew she could do the lawyer thing. Let's call the travel agency and leave this weekend. Zaire almost said that was too soon, that he needed to arrange things at the restaurant. Normally he'd make sure things were in order, double check and calendarize, speak with his employees and give them a watch everything and make sure nothing goes wrong speech. This time he wasn't going to do that. He knew it was time to trust them and let go and enjoy life a little more. Plus, after seeing Tyron, he needed the vacation just as much as Champagne. And the sooner the better. The farther away the better. Let's do it, Zaire said. Please, Champagne kissed him on the cheek and suggested they go swimming. I don't feel up to it, but I have a surprise for you. Champagne was using her suggestive tone. Zaire recognized it, but the headache that started earlier was now pounding. He took her hand. I'm sure you do, sweetie, but I have a terrible headache. I need to take some Advil and lay down. Disappointed because her plan was to put it on him. Champagne said, oh, okay. She kissed him on the cheek and told him to get comfortable while she made him some Chamel tea to relax. The following day, Champagne was standing in Jackson's office, her heart racing, uncertain about how he would respond. She was anxiety ridden and fearful. I'm resigning, she told him. I'm giving you 1 month's notice and I'm leaving for a 1 week vacation, so I won't be in next week. Whoa, whoa, hold up. Hold the fuck up. What the fuck are you talking about? What is all this about? Champagne was fed up. She was done and no longer had to put up with his attitude. And she wanted him to know it. Oh, I know you need to stop talking to me like that. Go on, Jackson said. Do you really think you're just going to come in here and just quit like that? Like you haven't signed a contract? Like you're not obligated to several clients? And on top of everything else, you tell me, not ask me, but you tell me you're taking a 1 week vacation? I'm not a child, Jackson. I'm not a child. And I'm not one of your bitches that need to ask your permission. As a matter of fact, I'm a grown ass woman that hasn't signed a contract in over 2 years. Your ass forgot, and I didn't mention it. This is your business. That's the kind of shit you're supposed to keep tabs on, not me. I'm going on vacation. I have more than enough time saved up, and I have contacted my main clients and told them I was resigning. I also informed them that your lover Camille will be taking over. That part slipped out, but Champagne was on a roll. Not only that, but nothing. You owe me. I made you, Jackson said hysterically. He depended on Champagne more than he thought. She trained everyone that came in after her and made him tons of money. She convinced his best clients to stay with him when he acted like an asshole and was always the middleman when there was a conflict. What the hell did she mean she hasn't signed the contract in 2 years? Thinking about it, he realized she was right. She hadn't. And this possibly meant that some of the clients hadn't either. This wasn't something he felt like dealing with. Jackson knew that the right Jackson knew that the right thing to do was to be sweet to her, sweet talk her, and offer her a raise, maybe even a partnership. But his anger got the better of him. You know what? You can leave right now. I don't need it. I don't need any notice. Pack your shit and go. Champagne looked him up and down and shook her head. That's just what I wanted to hear. Then she turned around and strolled out of his office, leaving him with a stunned look on his face. She'll be back, Jackson said from behind the door, trying to convince himself. When Champagne stepped into the hallway, some of the employees were smiling at her. They'd overheard the exchange and gave her the thumbs up. Most of them wanted to quit as well, but just didn't have the heart to. You're doing the right thing, Takia Jackson, secretary told her. I might be right behind you. Smiling, Champagne decided to give her a life lesson. Takia, you're a quick learner. You're smart and intelligent. Life has so much to offer. Yet you take the abuse from Jackson on a daily basis. I know he pays you well, but you have to value yourself a little more. Know your worth. And Jackson walked out of his office and glared at her. I thought you were leaving. Champagne looked at him and rolled her eyes. She started walking away and felt proud of herself. She was on her way to bigger and better things, things she had worked hard for and thoroughly deserved. Chapter 7. Freaks come out at night. Indeed. Alright, we'll stop there. And if no one's here to get the free gift, I gotta have to make that roll over to the next time. So, thanks for coming and listening to until chapter 7 of the book reading. The goal is to get enough subscribers so we can start this auctioning, guys. I really want to start this auctioning. It's going to be great. So please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. And hopefully I'll be back for the end of the week to do some more reading. Thanks for coming. Prince. You want to tell them bye? Come here. Come here. Sit right here. Sit. There you go. Say bye. See you next time. See you next time. You gotta wave at everything. You need to do no tricks.